The long dark took everything from us. It took our crops, our countries, and for many of us, our lives. We managed to survive underground, burrowed underneath the corpse that is this earth. So many years have passed, we have lost track of time, yet there are still those who live with us that remember what the surface once was and long for its return. Balking against the mandates of the ordered government and the qui sustenant, there are those that would dare risk their freedom and even their lives to see one last glimpse of what the surface once was. We are the brave. We are the bold. We are the ones that seek the surface. We seek the land of Viridian, the one that was once promised to us. In the last segment, we saw some void, whatever that is, dripping from the cavern ceiling. Wonder what that's about. So, what are you guys doing?
Well, we plan to head down to that tower to see if they had some answers.
I think there's not any more information we can get from this mysterious goop other than we should probably not touch it right now.
I mean, we could if we just dump the chicken in it.
How about you dip your tail in it? How about that?
Don't tempt me.
Do it. You won't do it.
Peer pressure. Peer pressure.
I like my tail a lot.
Well, I like my chicken a lot, so let's go to the monastery.
They cannot be compared, but let's go to the monastery.
All right. So you're at the monastery. As you stare at this giant tower, you see that the place is strangely abandoned.
More of this emptiness. I've had enough of this. Decimeth walks into the center of the monastery.
I'm gonna follow him.
Ornate, gilded figures adorn the halls. Testament to the saints that have come and gone. Gaunt figures in hooded robes, speaking of divinity and doctrine, all but obscured by the church. You stare at various portraits of previous clerics in high positions, and nice statues and busts, and a central prayer area shaped very similarly to an octagon.
Oh my god, it's Fight Island.
No, because that would mean this place is cool. And it's not.
There's nobody around, right?
No.
I'm gonna tag one of these saint paintings with Barlavan's Wanda shit posting before we move on.
God fucking damn it.
Stop. Listen. Whatever.
Zoob, what comes out of the wand this time?
I'd like to thank all the people that disrespected me, so I have a reason to continue to be.
Wow.
It must take 15 minutes to say that draconic.
I hate Zoob so much.
This is your fault. You asked for Barlavan, Jarek.
Listen.
Why do I feel that's suspiciously fitting inside of this monastery? Also, can I roll religion to figure out what is this a monastery to exactly?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, come to think of it, you said that most faiths aren't practiced anymore, right?
Not centralized like this. You don't know.
Perplexed and confused and apparently not having any context on what this place is. What is this place? Ambert asks out loud.
I have a question. Are there no signs of life in here either?
Eerily quiet.
Let's find out.
Can I search around?
Decimeth screams into the air. Hello, we are heathenistic individuals with very poor disposition here to relieve you of all your valuables.
Valuables.
Weirdly specific, Decimeth.
Since Carrick was, alive when we were still on the surface, he's kind of, kept practicing his religion and is semi-knowledgeable, so I wanted to roll to see if I know anything about this religion. And I got a 26.
The Quistusnut used to be a sectarian branch of the dualistic religion that has the twin gods Iwel and Ul. Iwel being the father creator god, who once had relations with Mother Earth. In the native tongue, it's Isar. Isar died and gave her body in order to form the earth. And all his tears came down and formed the oceans.
Interesting.
The estranged daughter that came from her stillborn womb, because she died in childbirth, that's how Easter died, was forsaken by a well. So deep was his grief at the loss of his only partner. And so he exiled Ul, who began to resent her father, and became basically the Satan of this world. For some sectarians, she is considered the mother of madness.
Interesting. So these guys worship both of those gods?
This is an Orwellian church. In this particular sect, they call him the light bearer, for he has to bear the sole brunt of the world on his back.
Interesting.
He's both carrying the loss of his dead wife and also the sin of having brought Ul into the world. In this religion, the afterbirth of Ul was also the formation of pretty much everything you see on Earth. Animals, people. So he takes it upon himself to bring those that swear fealty to him into the light. Hence why he's called the light bearer.
I see.
Interesting that it is pretty dark when it probably shouldn't be.
Should we toss the room?
I wonder if the cult got corrupted by, like, the other half. Crazy half.
That's up to your interpretation and your investigation, I suppose.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say I want to make an investigation check to see if any of the holy symbols are defaced or aberrant in some way.
Can I continue searching for signs of the priests?
Okay. On the eastern and western sides of this map, as you are currently inside, you see that there are two doorways, one that enters and one that's specifically designed for the exit.
Are you going south or west?
Are you asking me?
You went west-northwest. I guess I'll go, like, here.
Okay. Carrick, unfortunately, you find really nothing to indicate that this place has been profaned.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep my eyes peeled to see if anything else pops up as we get farther in, I guess.
Okay.
I want to look for footprints of any kind.
Whoa. No trace.
It's feast or famine today for our rules, that's it. We're like above 20 or sub 10, and there's very little in between.
Krusk, you find no evidence that any of the priests have been absconded. You just see an empty church.
I'm looking for stairways, doors. Is there anywhere else we could go besides the octagon?
There is a set of stairs up here, which would probably lead to either the choir loft or whatever the equivalent of the seminary would be. Looks like this is like a choir chamber in the south. North, probably where the priest hangs out. South, probably where the choir is. You see a balcony.
Yeah, I think we'll likely find the celebrants if we go up.
Wouldn't we have seen them leaving the building if that was the case, though?
There's no way anybody's here after my declaration of robbing them of their belongings and everything they hold dear and valuable.
Well, I mean, they could have also still been here to hole up. I mean, if they have knowledge of the surface, they must know what's going on, what's dropping down from the from above us.
Unless the demons and blob monsters were specifically coming after them.
Yeah, didn't think of that.
We had determined that those things were from the surface.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
All right.
Either way, we should check.
You go upstairs. You see pretty much what you see on the map, which is a set of very narrow hallways, kind of carved in stone. Basically, a series of cells.
Cells, basically.
They're not necessarily built into the tower itself. They've kind of been makeshifted by either like bookcases, which are made in stone, like dividers that were naturally moved over. Kind of like the medieval equivalent of a cubicle, if you will.
Definitely a more functional area than downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, this is where their bedrooms are, effectively. So I would like to try again at investigation just to see specifically, like, are there any belongings left of the clerics that would live here? Are there any, like, books or anything that they might have left behind?
Yeah, sure.
Like a journal. That'd be super useful.
That's much better than a 5.
Carrick wanders around, eyes to the ground, looking around for some evidence of people leaving in a hurry, and finds a series of pamphlets that are kind of scattered around. Someone dropped it when they were leaving, it seems.
All right. What do the pamphlets say?
Very basic doctrine stuff, and also There is a bit of, well, it's kind of a journal, as it were.
Hmm.
Most of it is kind of very mundane stuff, like, oh, I got X amount of eggs for such and such a price. Basically like a scribe's ledger,
Okay, yeah.
like transactions for X amount of corn and whatever. And then you see a couple of things like supply running low might necessitate an expedition to the surface, X amount of guards to be divided for the reconnaissance mission. Make sure that they only have people of true faith. We don't need another leak like we did last time.
All right, so I'm going to forward that to the people.
Last time.
That's very interesting. Maybe somebody of not true faith made it up there and that made something happen. This supply running low comment spurs Carrick to immediately look around. Are there any types of materials around here that wouldn't be native to the Underdark? Like, is there too much wooden furniture? Like, what could that supply possibly be talking about that they're running low on?
There is a suspiciously high amount of wood and other materials that you wouldn't see normally in the Underdark. You see like olive branches. You see berry sprigs to begin, like a berry bush in a pot like nearby.
What in the fresh hell?
All right, so these guys
are hypocrites.
Well, we already knew that.
I'm studying this plant, just trying to understand it because I'm not sure I've seen something like that before.
Krusk actually wants to take a whiff of the plant to see if it's like the stories. That's not a joke.
It's delightful, though. It's just delightful to see Krusk fully Krusk.
Yeah, he's a fanboy when it comes to the yeah. Well, he's a
Krusk sniffs plant and gets high with the boys.
Actually, no. Can you imagine a high Krusk? Actually, yeah, you
no,
can actually.
That's a terrible idea.
That wouldn't.
Yeah,
none of us and no doors would be safe.
That is the absolute last plan.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to call that.
So you move closer to get a whiff. Emberin, you see that there are like brambles and thorns on this particular bush.
It's so much less wet than plants down here, isn't it? It's not like mossy or licheny or it's stemmy. That's weird to me.
Dry and brittle to the touch.
Ew.
Also, if you touch it the wrong way, it hurts. Deep black berries. Black like, well, the space above.
Emberin turns to Krusk and asks, "What is it?"
I remember the man who trained me in arms would tell me stories, and he called these berries.
Berries.
As Carrick walks by as he's examining, he kind of absent-mindedly brushes the pot that the plant is in, because that's certainly not something new to him, but it's not something he's seen in a long, long time. But he's still on a mission right now, and he kind of muttering to himself, all of these are convenience items. All of these are things that would be inconvenient to be without. This ledger, there was something they needed from up there. We have to find out what that is. Decimith, is there anything that the Qusistonauts can do? Any kind of power or potion or something that seems unnatural that help them gain their position in society?
I've always suspected something like that, but I've never had any actual proof. This would be something that would confirm my suspicions, in all honesty.
There might be hidden around here somewhere an alchemical lab or something. What materials from the surface could give them an advantage?
Well, if you think about it, the goop, the void goop that was dropping from the ceiling that could more or less be coming from the surface.
That's quite
could seem to disappear things into
That's quite true.
Do you think they plan on weaponizing it?
Or utilizing it in some way.
I wouldn't be surprised if they already have.
We don't even know what that stuff is capable of.
Maybe they were already aware of it and lost control of it.
Zoob, can I make a history check to see if I can think of any other than the void? The void is an interesting lead. Can I think of anything else that existed on the surface that they could be desperate for enough to risk an expedition up there like that?
Okay.
See if I can recall anything from, 20-something years ago?
Yeah, sure.
Like what? 3
Yeah,
weeks for an
basically.
elf, right?
Ah, fuck. I guess it's just a puzzle.
Water comes to mind. How are you guys hydrating?
Yeah, a lot of the... I believe you had originally told us that a lot of the water down here comes from magic, right?
Magic and also from your benefactors.
I bet the more desperate press it out of
Wait, which benefactors are those?
slimy stuff.
Yeah, they're provided by it's provided by the state.
Okay. And the states are all tied to the Qsistonauts. They could be getting water from the surface.
Krusk is still he's still thinking about those berries, and he's thinking maybe a story from his master might provide a clue. Is there a roll I can make to try to access that memory?
History.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Your mind fogs. You think Carrick is going somewhere with that water lead?
Okay, so with that lack of information, I'll follow Carrick's lead.
Were there any stairs down?
Aside from the ones that you used?
Yeah. No, I mean from the first level, from the first floor.
There was another room we didn't check. We were the choir. This is where we would find where the celebrates stay.
There's definitely some hidden compartment or something we could be looking for.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start scrutinizing the rooms that we pass through.
So we should check this one before we head down in the next, right?
Yeah.
Raise the place.
Well, I mean, like, we're in the body of the tower right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So it's pretty safe to say there's probably not going to be an extra room in the tower wall.
Right.
Because that would stick out and it'd be noticeable.
Of course. But it would probably be in the basement. Is that what you're saying?
It could be between floors, or it could be below us, or it could be above us.
Okay, so we should start search. I agree. We should start searching there because we're not. I don't think we're gonna find anything here. The book provided useful information, but not enough to go on.
It's a
to get
definite
something
strong
concrete.
lead. I am gonna, like, if there's any carpets or anything on this floor, I am gonna peek under them just in case there's like a space between floors or something like that.
Okay.
I was just suggesting maybe look under beds
Yeah.
and things like that. Or I guess I just want to assist now, if
Yeah.
that makes
Same.
sense.
Raise all beds and carpets.
I see Decimeth like using his foot to literally flip
Yep.
beds in one swift
Now he's
motion.
using his tail, right, Tessmith?
Of course.
Why not both?
Flip, 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 flip,
Clang, clang, bang.
flip.
You're
Flip.
literally flipping over mattresses, so
It's insane.
Tossing
and bed frames. Yeah.
There's nothing.
Roll me an investigation.
Don't wear yourself out, Decimith.
Oh, right. Yeah. Investigation.
Don't-
Of course.
Don't wear yourself out, Decimith. We have plenty more to check, I bet.
Zoob, I knew that, Zoob, investigation.
Do you want us all to roll
Yep.
investigation?
God damn it. Please. Flip. Flips the same mattresses.
He's just merrily upending beds.
How dare you, Zoob?
We're all stupid.
This is trash. Look at all these rolls.
Hey, I'm not the one rolling
There
them.
we go.
Oh my
Damn.
god.
All right. So, Deathsmith, Carrick, and Krusk really raise the rooms. Just flipping over mattresses, overthrowing bookshelves, things of that nature, and come up with nothing. Embrin stares at a piece of the carpet and just kind of casually flips it over, which is like the least invasive thing you've done, and notices that there is a tome underneath.
Hey, Carrick, not to keep making you the designated book guy, but check this out.
It's my job. It's fine. I hustle over there. What does the tome look like?
It is a leather-bound tome,
Large, small?
medium-sized. I mean, it fits
All right.
in two hands.
I pop open the cover. Does it look like it's like an illuminated manuscript, or is it just like
Very illuminated.
handwritten? Or okay, all right, we might be onto something. Language?
You can piece together pieces of it.
Is it like a cipher or something?
All right, let's think about it like this, okay? So, I speak two languages. I speak Spanish and I speak English, right?
Yeah.
I can understand a little bit of Portuguese.
Yeah.
It's a romantic
They're-
language.
It's a romantic
They're similar.
language.
Just like since I took Latin, I can kind of a little bit follow a lot of the romantic languages. All right, so do I recognize any of the language involved? I speak Common, Elven, Undercommon, and Draconic.
You would say that. What were these options again?
Common, Elven, Undercommon, and Draconic.
Undercommon is probably the most like it.
Okay.
So, as you look at it, you piece together some pieces of it. It looks like it says something to the effect of holy, and then you can't piece that word something about divine.
Would, like, a history check give me any insight into, like, linguistically what the hell I'm looking at?
Sure, yeah.
Damn, I keep rolling super low, and I have a +7 on this check.
That's fine. That's enough.
Jeez.
Because you're from above surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's English.
Oh,
You were a Prussian. So
Yeah.
like think of you being from Germany and this is from the UK.
yeah, I was from Unapresh, yeah. And I've studied some of the history of the other countries from around that time too. So I recognize parts of the language, but is this one of those things where it might take me some time to translate it or whatever?
It's very much like trying to use Spanish to understand Portuguese.
Which at times can be completely impossible from my understanding.
Yes. But you can kind of get glimpses.
All right. Since I was involved in the Magus College Underground, I probably know someone who can translate this, but that would be like a long-term thing.
Yeah, you probably do.
Alternately, if I can get my hands on like a scroll of comprehend languages or something like that, that would be really fucking useful.
Don't you have the spell?
I do not know. You think of my other boy.
Oh, you're right. My
That
bad.
spell helped us immeasurably in that campaign, but I'm going to... What would you say? This is like a couple pounds, this book?
Yeah.
I'm going to toss this in my bag and figure it out.
You know, we can throw the book in somebody's
Yeah.
face to figure out how